Big Z Reviews. 47 Meters Down, Uncaged is a completely unrelated sequel to 47 Meters Down from the same studio, and it is the newest kind of shark horror film. And I love these kind of films, but this is just a little too stupid at times.
Guys, there's a shark!
What are we gonna do? You don't have a choice. You have to go back down.
Nobody made it
So this was directed and written by Johannes Roberts, and I must say, the very first thing that from 47 Meters Down, I liked it, but hated the ending. But the whole idea behind it was that they were swimming in a shark cage, and then the chain broke, and they sank down the 47 meters. So they were 47 meters under the ocean, and then they also had to deal with stuff. They had to deal with the bends and hypoxia, and how that they have to come up slowly, or they're gonna die, and how they're might have hallucinations from being down there so low, and when they come up too fast, and bubbles, and all sorts of shenanigans with the title. And this one, it's confusing because they are not 47 meters down. They are in a cave. The cave is not 47 meters down. And I mean, as Uncaged, yeah, they're not in a cage at all, but they're in a cave that is definitely not 47 meters down. They don't have to worry about the bends. They don't have to worry about any of the stuff that the first film really dealt with. I don't know why you call it a sequel. I guess because the first movie has the surprising success. They weren't expecting it to do well. So they thought, well, we better connect it to that one. So people that saw that one will come to see this one too. And I think it was stupid. Instead, they should have called it Cave Shark. Something like that. Because it's a much more accurate description of the movie. And I mean, the only thing that relate this movie to the previous one, 47 Meters Down, is that there are killer sharks, that two of the main characters are sisters, or half-sisters, and there's drama about that, and that they have magic goggles that you can see their whole face. His face is lit up well. You can see them kind of acting in the water, and they can all talk to each other like they're sitting in the same room without any problems, except when the movie calls for them to have connection problems. That's the only thing that connects these movies, and it's just kind of odd. So the idea for this movie is that these two girls, they're stepsisters, and they're the sons of this guy that's a diver, and he explores caves, and he apparently they unearthed this old Incan burial site that is now completely underwater, and they're trying to prepare it for scientists to come in and explore. And of course, at the same time, they want to have the sisters go on a open boat, the glass boat shark expedition to see the great white sharks. But then her friends show up for the one half-sister, one stepsister, and they're, come on, let's go to this other place that's so much cooler than that. So they go to it, and they explore the one side of the caves where the dad isn't, but that's all ready for the scientists to explore, and that they want to go and look at the burial site in the caves themselves. And of course, there's blind sharks in there. And if you stop to think about any of the science or any of the things, how things work, you're not doing this movie right. But at the same time, this movie is so goofy that it breaks the immersion when it's so stupid. Because, I mean, even I turn my brain off for it. But I was watching it I don't know about that. Because, I mean, they have these, some great parts of the movie. Or it'd be even better if they're in they're cave diving, essentially. So, that can be incredibly, anxiety-inducing and claustrophobic and scary. And they do some moments like that. But at the same time, how can you have these moments when you're supposed to have this giant, blind great white chasing after you? So So it doesn't really jive with this style of horror when you have a giant monster chasing after you. Like, how is this giant monster surviving in these caves? Like, some of them are larger, and I know they say that they broke open a new area and the sharks came in from that area, but these sharks are supposed to have been trapped there for thousands of years, and they've evolved to be blind and have increased senses. And that's just kind of stupid because, sharks already have amazing senses. They're not sight predators. They hunt by vibration and smell and electrical signals. And I don't think they would survive in a cave. There's a whole idea they can swim thousands of miles, and that that's why we've never been able to successfully hold a great white in captivity, because they kill themselves or they just die, because they don't have enough area to move. So I think because there has to be a great white, because that's what everyone talks about, knows about for these sort of films. But I think it would have been a lot better to have some sort of smaller shark. That it would make a lot more sense. And two, because there are literally two fish you see in the film. Two fish other than sharks. And the one screams at them and causes the inciting incident the inciting event that, causes everything to go crazy. And that is so ridiculous, but, fine, whatever. But, how are these sharks living down there? How have these sharks survived if there's no prey? They haven't had all of these humans to eat for thousands of years. The human is a new part of their diet. So what are they eating? And I shouldn't be thinking about that, but the time is so stupid that I have to. That I can't help my brain trying to think about what's going on. But the main four girls in the movie are Sophie Nilles, Corinne Fox, Brienne Tijoux, and Sistine Rose Stallone. And they're kind of like the four that they have to, for most of the movie. And I kind of like, that there's a little more people so that they can fight off each other and talk to each other. But then at a certain point, they all have to start dying. And they introduce the dad and his workers. So it becomes, a slasher film with a shark as the monster. And, that's, it's kind of cool. I kind of like it. The CGI for the shark is okay. Some shots are better than others. But, I kind of liked what they're doing. But it's just, sometimes it just gets so stupid. And it's too, because, it's tough, with more people, you kind of confuse who they are. That at one point, towards the end, you think one person has kind of been killed or has been wiped away by this magic current, but whatever. I'm not going to talk about the science of these caves or how they work, but this magic current sweeps one of them away, and I was like, which one was that? And then even the one that's kind of Asian, I think, or something like that, and I couldn't really tell with you're wearing a mask and there's a bunch of swirling water, and it's so was it her, or was it the other one? Was it one of the sisters? And then a character is killed, and then I was like, oh, that's that character. Okay, so the other character is the one that got swiped away. Okay, so it was can be slightly confusing, and it's just, but at the same time, it is kind of thrilling, and I did enjoy bits of it. I enjoyed the horror and the thrilling aspect of being chased by great whites, and it is. I kind of like some of this stuff, but there's so many things you can nitpick in this. For example, at one point they're about to escape, and they have this line they're supposed to climb up, and of course sharks now found a way into this area, even though it seems like all the other areas are really small and narrow, and they couldn't get in. And if they could have gone before, you think they may not have been blind anymore because they could have seen the sun, but whatever. But this is the line that the guys went into to go this, and they're 200 pounds, and they have this line is barely connected to this little piece of rock, it's stuck in between these rocks, and that two of the girls, one girl's try to climb on the other and escape, and because she's getting hysterical, and of course that causes the rope to come down. But they had to be carrying welding tools. They were doing welding in the water and doing other things to prepare for the scientists. So there's no way that that rope couldn't have supported 2 girls. You know? There's so many things like that to nitpick, and someone else could have a lot of a great time doing that, but I'm going to stop nitpicking because, you know, it is fun, and I think definitely the best scene is toward the end. Like, there's some really cool scenes toward the end, and I will say that, spoiler for the first movie, in the first movie, it was related the whole 47 meters down thing. There's like a fake ending. Like, there's a really good, like, this whole great scene where the sisters are fighting off these sharks and like saving each other, saving themselves, and trying to get to the boat to rescue themselves. And then they do it, they succeed, and you're like, oh yes. And then it was like, never mind, that's a fake ending. Here's the real ending. The one sister's dead, and she has to be saved by a group of men. Yay! And it was so, that made me hate the movie in the last one. Thankfully, though, the sequel does not do that. Because, of course, they have no reason for them to hallucinate, because they're not 47 meters down. They do not do a fake out. There are some shenanigans towards the end of the movie, but the shenanigans are awesome. And that kind of made me like the movie a lot more, with how cool the ending was. So, I mean, this is not a good film. This is not a good movie. But, I mean, if you like shark horror, it's a lot of fun. It's just, I wish it was less stupid. It was just a little bit less stupid, and I would have liked it a lot more. I still have to give it like a 6.75 out of 10, 7 out of 10. You know, it's fun, but it's incredibly stupid. And I think that I would have liked it more if I had just seen it like on Netflix or something. Even though I didn't pay for it, because the Regal theaters introduced their own version of subscription service. So this was actually like the 3rd movie I've seen in the month. So it was kind of free. So it's not as, I could have been a lot harsher on it, I think, if I actually paid $10 to see it. But, you know, it is what it is. So thanks for watching, and share the playlist on my head, and subscribe to me at Z over there. Thanks. This has been a Big Z movie review. Thanks for watching.